We are now about 3 minutes away from totality, and finally, it is starting to really get darker. Yeah. The big change in light level really just comes 5 minutes before totality. Until more than 80% of the sun's been eclipsed, there is very little difference in the amount of sunlight on the ground. But now, for sure, here we are. 2.5 minutes from totality. It's
and if we didn't know better, we think that this is sunset, right? It's like the sun going down on a.
So local time. This is 1 o'clock on a summer's afternoon. If the clouds weren't there, we would see, coming from the west, we would be able to see the umbra, the moon's dark shadow, actually approaching from over the western horizon and moving towards our location here. And now, as we're watching, it is, the light is fast disappearing there.
And we're just gonna kind of stay and look. We can talk a little bit about what we can see during totality if we can actually see the sun. We've got some other features other than just the corona that we can see. We can see something called the diamond ring effect. We can see something called bathing seas, and we do have a diamond.
Clouded out eclipse is that you do actually, you can actually get proper darkness. Kind of one of the surprises with totality on a very clear day is that it doesn't go completely dark. The solar corona that we talked about, it's much fainter than the moon, but it is about as bright as a full moon. And of course we know that a bright full moon can actually provide quite a lot of light at night time. But when things are clouded out, there is really, there's nothing coming from the solar corona. Also on a clear day, from around the edge of the moon's umbra, you can also get sunlight coming in from the edge of the umbra. It's only about 90 kilometers across, so if you look towards the horizon, you can see the sunlight on the horizon. But again, it's cloudy, like right here. That's not happening, so things have gone completely black and completely dark at volcano.
And we're into totality here, and we can see nothing. It must be quite unnerving to be in that complete darkness in the middle of the day.
Well, they're going to have 2 minutes and 9 seconds of complete darkness, and as we look at this, I mean, this is a chance to think back on the effect of these total eclipses on humans throughout history. I mean, this is this started off as a summer's day, and here it is, the middle of the day. It's gone completely black for 2 minutes. It is a real end of the world simulation. Right here.
We can see about.
What about? So I was going to say we're about halfway through.
About halfway. And we can see above your head there. Here we go. We've got an animation here showing where we would be. Like you can see, the totality is here.
No, go back. Oh, they lost it. Oh, there it is. Oh, it's there. we go. The diamond ring effect will be coming very soon. These guys are having a hard time tracking the sun. Here we go. Stay still. So some of these images are further along than others because they're along the line. So these guys are in Chile. The other guys were in Argentina, where it's happening like a few minutes later. So this is, I believe this is on the coast of Chile where it's happening first. Those other guys were in Argentina, so they still have more of the sun visible. But here we go. This is like 1 minute away from totality. You can see the diamond ring effect starting up here at the top. Oh no! Oh, boom! What was that? Oh, I think they took the filter off or something. Or adjusted their camera. But yeah, you can see the beads up here. Bailey's beads starting up here. Oh, lots of Bailey's beads. And boom, there it went, totality. So they've adjusted the camera because it's very dark now, and then now this is the corona. So actually the camera probably automatically adjusted because it went so dark that the camera probably automatically adjusted so that now you can see this. And this actually happens with your eyes too. Your eyes adjust. Even though it's dark, now your eyes compensate. They go into, kind of like a night vision mode, and then you can see this corona. And it is otherworldly. I mean, it looks, if you were there, you would look around and there would be, the sky around you that you could, just barely make out. So it wouldn't be totally black around it, but it looks like a hole has been punched in the sky. And you can see some red in there. There are like solar flares that you can see around the outside, especially in a long exposure photograph. And in a really long exposure photograph, which is what I hope to do during the next eclipse, is you can actually see the face of the moon in front of the sun. So what you'll get is light bouncing from the sun to the earth, bouncing back off of the earth back up, and just barely lighting up the side of the moon that's facing us, that is blocking the sun. And with a long exposure you can actually you can see the face of the moon. So that's what I hope to get next time. So my first eclipse, I forgot to take the filters off and I didn't get the corona, but what I did get was all of these little solar flares, these kind of pinkish red solar flares. Oh, it's already coming out? God, see, it happens so fast. So that was the diamond ring. So you got the diamond ring with the diamond up here, and now their camera has adjusted. See, it happens so fast. And once it's over, you're like, oh man, do it again. I want it again. But no, you've got to wait years. I mean, the next one is going to be in 2024. There's a couple that are happening that are in like Antarctica or all the way up at the North Pole that would be very hard to get to. But yeah, so the next one is in 2024. So it happens so fast that you're like, do it again, do it. I want to see it again. I want to see it again. But you can't. You've got to wait 4 or 5 years if you're willing to travel. I mean, if you're going to wait for one to pass over your location again, it may be 30 or 40 years. But yeah, so this is it coming back. So the moon is now starting to move away a little bit, and the sun is coming back. But you saw how it was a very abrupt relighting of the sun. So your camera or your eyes are in that night vision mode where it's your iris is opened up to let more light in because it was so dark and then the moon moves away just enough that a tiny, corner of the sun is exposed, and then boom, you get this big bright light again. It's even just 1% of the sun shining through is enough that it makes a huge difference. And then the second half of this is just the first half in reverse, what you've already seen, and by this point you're like, okay, well that's it, it's over. I mean, there's a lot more of it to go, but it's just going through the phases of the sun being exposed again. But yeah, that highlight is those 2.5 minutes in the center, which is interesting. The eclipse that's coming up in 2024, that's going to run through Texas and all the way up through New England. The moon must be much closer to the Earth during that one, because that one totality is actually going to last for 4 minutes. The one that I saw in Oregon and the one that I saw in Chile and the one today were about 2.5 minutes, like 2 minutes 28 seconds of totality. But this one coming up in Texas and in the U.S. in 2024, the totality is going to last for about 4 minutes if you're on the center line. That'll give a lot more time for photography, because things go so fast. 2.5 minutes to take these pictures, especially when they're long exposures. So that'll give you almost double the time to play around with your camera. But yeah, that's it. That's the highlight of the eclipse. And let's see the other locations that were a little slower. Yeah, so this one looks like it hasn't gone into eclipse yet, because they're over in Argentina, where it's happening a little bit later. Are these the guys that were talking a while ago? No? This one is. Some of these, the live stream might just be stuck or slow. See, this one is in Argentina. These guys were talking. Oh, I think I need to get here. I saw some live streams for Chile where it was clouded out. One of them was an observatory on top of the mountain and nothing but clouds, and then there was another one where there was a whole bunch of people like at a festival or something, and it looked really cloudy. This looks like it's going. Oh, he's just messing with the exposure. I guess this is coming out of Eclipse, according to their timer down here at the bottom. I guess their optics must just be reversed from everybody else's. Yeah, see, that's reversed. Yeah, because this is the one that I was watching. Well, that's it. Got to wait until 2024. Or actually, there's an Annular in Texas in 2023, 6 months prior. So, since it's Texas, I'll go see them both. Much easier to travel to Texas than it would be to Chile or Argentina. So here it is. So 2023, October 14th, this line here, there will be an Annular. And so that's an eclipse that is not a total eclipse, but almost. But the moon is perfectly centered during the midpoint of the eclipse, so that it leaves a very thin ring around the outside. And I went to Guam to watch one of those in December of last year. That was awesome. So yeah, October 14th. So that's going to go through Oregon, Nevada, Utah, New Mexico, Texas, through the Yucatan Peninsula of Mexico, through Central America and South America. So my family lives in the San Antonio area in there, so that'll be very easy for me to get out there. And then again in April of 2024, April 8th, 2024, then there's a total eclipse that runs through Texas, Arkansas, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, up through New England. And so the midpoint of that goes right through just to the west of San Antonio and through Austin, Texas. So that'll be very easy for me to get to as well. I've got my spot picked out for 2024 that is in a near a state park that has a river running through it, where my family likes to go and play in the river. And there are cabins there that you can rent, so that's what I plan on doing. Awesome. So let's see how it's doing. So that's the one I was watching. These guys are way behind. Yeah, that's it. It's over. It's an awesome experience, and if you ever are watching one and you're not on the center line, make sure you get to the center line, because the difference between a partial, if you're someplace where you're going to see, 95% eclipse, and all you got to do is travel 20 or 30 miles to get to the center line to see the total eclipse, the difference between a 95, 97, 98, 99% eclipse and a total eclipse, the difference is 1,000%. I had seen several partial eclipses in my life, but when I saw my first total eclipse, the one that I saw in Oregon a couple of years ago, I was speechless. There you go.